all the Leverets, including Desmond.
I assume his last name is Leverett.
It essentially is. It's like a hyphenated thing.
Oh,
Desmond Johnson's hyphenated.
So he's adopted, I'm assuming.
Huh?
He's adopted, I'm assuming. His mom's got some questions.
You know.
Wow. Oh my.
You guys ever seen The Blind Side?
Yep, there it is.
That in real life.
There it is.
Pretty much.
Getting off to a thunderous start today, folks.
Alright, so Joe needs to come turn this monitor on. I'm not stretching my neck.
And I'm blind.
Alright.
I can see it just fine.
Well, hey, you're sitting right in front of the computer.
You know, you're just making excuses. If you really wanted to see it, you could see it.
The only reason you're seeing there is because I forgot my ARG hoodie. That's it.
Should have played around it.
Doesn't make any sense.
You knew we had it.
Alright, guys. Alright, Mitchell Nouse looks like he's on Burning Abyss now. He's going to start off with the tour guide.
Into Graph. Yep, pretty much standard. I know that before all the new cards came out, Tour Guide into Skarm was much more popular. Now it's almost always Graph. It doesn't matter what you have. Even if I didn't have another Burning Abyss in my hand, the vast majority of the time I'm still going to get Graph there.
Yeah. Just immediately goes into Dante, mills the full 3, looks like.
I almost always try and get all my special summon effects. Like, I prioritize that over trying to get Skarm searches or whatever, just because like putting stuff on the field is
have the technology.
much more threatening.
We can rebuild him. We just don't want to spend a lot of money. Alright. He's going to go and grab Sir off of that Graph activation. He milled, looks like he milled 2 Wing Blasts and a Vanity's Emptiness off of that Dante. So a pretty substandard mill.
Lots of traps. Well, the traps are, I would say, the worst cards in the deck. I'm not a fan of traps at all.
You're not really a big fan of traps. I remember several articles where you just went in on traps. Like
they're not my favorite thing.
They have feelings, man.
That's certainly understandable.
Okay, well, alright, so if he's not specialing Burning Abyss here, I guess he's got to have something in his other cards, so it seems like traps.
Oh,
yeah, and this is a great setup for a Firelight play. Kevin Gordan, it looks like, is on Shaddolls. I believe he has a couple copies of the Chaos Dragons.
So Kevin Gordan was on Burning Abyss.
Oh, yeah, we had that switched around. Okay, this makes a lot more sense now. Mitchell Nouse is still on Shaddolls, by the way, guys.
Okay, so if he has Lake here, it kind of sucks, but you just do play the Lake here, almost certainly.
I think you do. Like, you gain back most of the...
Joe forgot to turn the monitor.
It's a very quick way to get OTK to not play Lake here. And also, even if... Wonderful. We can see. Sorry, I'm going to pull this closer. I'm so blind.
You're fine, man.
So Mitchell Nouse elected to send a Squamata from his deck and Eclipse Wyvern from his hand there.
See, one of the things is, like, if you do have Lake here and you don't play it, first of all, you can get OTK'd very easily, like, even through the Lake. But even more than that, it's like you're not really saving it to hit cards because you're hitting cards that they're getting for free. So it's a lot more threatening when they send Wyvern.
Yeah, that joint's scary. We have a friend who we rode up here with. He was trying to convince us that playing Rainbow Dark Dragon was a good idea to have a second target.
I'm not sure if I know what that does.
You don't have to, Pat. It's horrible. Okay, this guy is a radical.
Patrick Hoban doesn't have time for your peasant cards.
Let him drive.
You know who this man is.
It's very questionable tactics. But regardless, Mr. Nouse off to a pretty solid start here.
Yeah, definitely. The Shaddoll fusion. This is this is one of the biggest upsides to playing Shaddolls, is that if your opponent leaves an Exceed on the board, with the Eclipse Wyvern builds allow you to basically open with Shaddoll Fusion and a Chaos Monster to game them.
Yeah. City Dragon is always questionable against Burning Abyss because they almost certainly just chain the back row.
Yeah.
Like, it is back row that they would be playing anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is pretty much chainable. Oh, not in that case.
And
he had the Night Beast.
Yeah, Gordan.
That's a strange card to set. I would probably not have done that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that and it's worth, like, especially going in blind. He didn't know his opponent was on Shaddolls, so it's very possible that the Night Beam just becomes a casualty against.
Night Beam's one of those cards that, like, I really want to have more cards like MST, but at the same time, they're really bad to draw going first.
All right, so Nouse was just going for it, and it looks like Gordan just
So
held
he did
on to
have
the
Fire Lake.
And he's gonna kill all of his opponent's cards, but
that's the thing is like he's just hitting cards that he got for free. I would have definitely just changed it to the
I think the damage has been done. Like he has a significant rebuild here. Oh, and
he's got
Super Poly.
Shaddoll. Wow, he's got Super Poly.
Yeah, that's
wow, that's crazy.
Right yep.
Yeah, that is if there were an argument to play Shaddolls, it would be Super Poly.
Yeah.
Like, that card is insane.
It's just I really feel like the deck did lose so much steam with it going to 1. Though.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
card it's ridiculous.
You watch some of the plays they were capable of when the card was at 3, just the Shaddoll and like Super Poly plays that would put absurd amounts of power onto the board and devastate your opponent's field.
You know, even though they have one more fusion than they do now, or than they did originally, I guess, when they had like 3 Super Poly and 3 regular Shaddoll fusions. Now they have the 3 Shaddoll fusion, the 3 L Shaddoll fusion, and Super Poly. Like, L Shaddoll fusion is just not Super Poly at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Like,
you can respond to L Shaddoll fusion. That makes it automatic.
You can. Super Poly is one of the best. It's probably the best legal card in the game.
I'd have.
And it looks like he is going to go ahead and Super Poly, sending Construct, and I think that was Dark Armed.
Is that Winda?
So yeah, assuming that was Dark Armed, it was definitely.
Assuming that's
I think it's Winda.
I don't know.
I think. Well, no, it might be Construct. I think I see L. I don't
So
I
yeah,
think
he's
they're
gonna.
all
Oh, you're right. That's how you graduate Spanish class.
It's definitely Winda.
No laws.
He's
It's Winda?
it has to be Winda
How
because
did this guy manage to set it?
the creatures have to be on board, so
the
the construct counts as the Shaddoll part and not the light.
yeah, that's
And
Winda. I see
So
the
it's
hair.
definitely Winda.
You see the green hair? See it? You gotta look hard.
I
man.
do see.
Look hard.
I do see it. All right.
All right, so he's gonna go ahead and add back Shaddoll fusion from the effective construct, and he's gonna search for the light Chaos Dragon.
So he sent the Black Dragon, the Construct, and Dark Arm were the 3 monsters for
Yes.
Lake. Okay, yeah, then I guess it does have to be Winda. He doesn't have another choice. Oh, well, yeah, all right, because Lake tributes for a cost, so he can't just send his opponent, so yeah, it has to be a Winda there.
Right.
Which, like, Winda's very, very strong against Burning Abyss in a position like this.
Absolutely. Because, like, most times people think, oh, well, I got Winda on board, I'm probably going to win. But, so much back row.
Yeah.
Wing Blast, Karma
But
Cut,
that's the thing, if he had Wing Blast and Karma Cuts, he would have set him first turn, and the fact that he doesn't means he's going to have to draw them, and if he doesn't draw them, he's going to be in a pretty bad position.
Kevin Gordan elects to special summon Dante off the effective Sir and adds Graph back to his hand from the effect of the Dante that was sent to the graveyard from that Fire Lake.
Alright, didn't forget the normal summon. Good stuff. Get this man his credit.
We can't, come on guys, we can't just stay on him for this.
Gotta give that man his credit. Alright, so what's the guy? He's got Tour Guide in his hand and another spell, I want to say.
I definitely see Graph.
Graph is what he added off of.
Yeah, Graph is what he added off of Dante.
Right. Alright, so just thinking about it, if he has a Burning Abyss in hand, then that would have had to have been the card he would have drawn. A Burning Abyss other than the Graph, obviously. But, yeah, because if he had one last turn, he would have gone ahead and special and made a second Dante.
Yeah, exactly.
So
make that Fire Lake even that more potent.
Right.
It was a tough spot to be in, man. Especially if you don't have an immediate answer to Winda.
Yeah, Winda
Now,
definitely.
luckily, Dante's got that big booty. But eventually, Nouse is gonna make a play.
They call
too,
him Big Booty? That's not right.
Hot rocks, man. We're in ATL, all right? That's all you're gonna see is big booties. Am I right?
Why? Oh man.
Alright, so if it's Squamata or Dragon set, which I kind of just have to imagine that it would be, then he's going to be in an even worse position. Also, on the other hand, that's kind of how I would expect this matchup to go, almost, is like, if I have Dante's and stuff for an opening, I'm going to go for it. Like, if you draw Fusion, you draw Fusion. You're not going to, like, I'm not going to try and try and play around fusion, not knowing what you're playing. Like, no, I'm just going to go for my Dantes or whatever. Hope you don't have it. And I guess the worst part is that he had the out to make it not free, and he didn't use it, which not saying he would have been in the best position had he gone ahead and just laked the fusion, but he definitely would have been in a better position than he is now.
I agree.
But like even the times they do have it, you just kind of expect to lose those games, and then just hope to.
It becomes that much more difficult.
Right.
To get the job done, you know.
This matchup would go in Shaddoll's favor probably like a fair amount of the time, game one at least, like probably over 50%. I would say it's pretty heavily in Burning Abyss's favor after siding, but game one, you know, you expect to lose a fair amount of games.
I mean, that's just. I mean, it really comes down to overall. I think we can consciously agree Burning Abyss is a better deck. You know, your game one matchup, like you said, it can kind of go either way. But as soon as you hit that games 2 and 3, that's really when I feel like just Burning Abyss just gets to shine.
Yeah,
and just
definitely.
Put all that pressure on Shaddoll.
You know, Burning Abyss. I'm gonna equate Burning Abyss to Fiendish Chain game one, because look, if you have Fiendish Chain, like Fiendish Chain was never a great card. It was always like okay against all. Yeah, exactly. It was like always alright against all the top decks, but it was never like, oh, I'm gonna play it because it's an amazing card. No, it's like okay against everything instead of being really good against one thing and not good against the other thing. That's kind of how Burning Abyss is game one, where it's like, oh, when I play the mirror, if I win the dice roll, all right, cool, we're good to go game one, and then we'll side deck, and then it gets more heavily in my favor after we side deck. But then and Shaddolls, it's like, okay, I'm gonna hope you don't have fusion, and then it's definitely got a good Clifford matchup game one. But I feel like it's you're playing at game one, and it's not going to be necessarily like you're expecting to win every game one. It's just better against the other stuff than like picking one thing and I'm going to beat just that. If that makes sense. Like,
no, that makes perfect sense. I 100% agree with you on that point. As a user of Fiendish Chain, I can relate to where you're going.
Plenty of formats I've played that card because it was the best card that wasn't terrible against most decks.
It's a good neutral card.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's not overall.
It's alright.
But it's alright. You know
it's alright against everything.
There you go, Pat. My man. Alright, so Mr. Gordan.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we had an Atlanta moment there.
Oh.
Everything's back in order now.
Alright. Yeah, it's quite the field to overcome.
Yeah, I think I don't think Gordon's going to be able to get over this.
Honestly, this
especially the fact that Gordan has
really
already milled 2 of his Wing Blast.
Did he just search a graph off the
he did.
Scarm? Okay.
If he had like Wing Blast and a card that like negates Winda, that'd be kind of. What is it? Calcav, I think.
Alec.
Yeah.
That effect is so hard to use even against Winda.
It's not an out to Winda,
Yeah,
but Gordan does have the main deck Regeki.
Okay, well,
It's not doing
I can't exactly see the glare is really strong.
We'll adjust that after.
Yeah, there's a Winda, a Dragon, and a Construct on board.
Okay.
So,
alright, well, it's good that he gets to get rid of Construct even if he gets the fusion back, because like Construct is just such a huge threat by itself.
I mean, the problem is though that Gordon's really being locked out of this game by Winda more than anything. The Regeki might.
How many cards are in Mitchell's hand?
Looks like it might just be one.
Just one? Alright, that might not be that bad, because if he can like even just set graph, if Mitchell isn't able to like constantly apply pressure here, then like he could just
I'm sorry, he has
summon
4 in hand now.
Okay, well he might just be able to straight activate that
just
fusion
kidding,
and get over everything
hopeless.
then. Yeah, it's very hopeless in that case.
Nouse elects to add back Shaddoll Core to his hand instead of a Shaddoll fusion card. I believe he already has one in his hand.
He's already got one in hand.
Core has a really awkward interaction with Winda where you want to be able to set it with El Shaddoll fusion, but then if you play the core, then you've already special summoned for that turn, and you just can't play El Shaddoll fusion. It's really awkward.
Yeah, I never thought about that. Like. Hey, there she is.
One thing that kind of makes up for it is, like you were saying, Alec is kind of an out to Winda.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
And
that would be very helpful, at least.
if he ever does negate Winda's effect, at that point he could just play both, and it gets a lot better.
True.
Is that White Dragon?
Yep.
Alright. So you have to assume that it's probably graph set? Yeah, it's the graph. Alright, see, that was actually just a big mistake on Mitchell's part. He definitely should have attacked with the white dragon there, because even if it is Skarm, that's fine. Skarm's not threatening. He could attack over it with Winda, and then he doesn't have a monster on board.
Yeah, but now he can't get over that.
Exactly, and now he has to theoretically
he's
pass.
actually opened himself up to his opponent being able to clear the window off the board.
Yep.
Yeah, so Kevin actually might have a little bit of light at the end of this tunnel here, depending on what else is in Mitchell's hand.
Yeah.
I do see Shaddoll.
Yep, definitely, and presumably the other set is going to be the core.
Yep.
Did you see what he drew?
Upstart.
Upstart.
That's your boy.
Hey.
So in this situation, Pat, staring down 2 back rows, you got Winda on board. Now you got to go for it. What player are you thinking?
Honestly, you almost don't want to clear the window, like.
Yeah, it's kind of bad because if you clear the window, you're gonna have to use an exceed to do it, and if you do that, you open yourself up to yet another Shaddoll fusion from the deck.
Even almost immediately, you kind of know that, like, if you do clear it, since you added back core, the other set's got to be the Shaddoll fusion here. So, like, if you clear it, then you're just opening yourself up to Mitchell getting, like, infinite advantage just by being able to special summon 2 things.
I hear you.
Yeah,
He's just not.
You can tell these are the games that are slowly spiraling out of control. It may not be immediately.
Yeah, man, it's not a direct headshot. This boy's
Yeah.
bleeding out right now.
Yeah.
Okay? It's rough out here, all right?
If I were in Kevin's spot, I would just, like, this would be one of those games I would just kind of expect to lose.
He's gonna fight on though. Go ahead and go into a Dante here.
That's one of the things is, like, when you play, you don't really necessarily play to win every single game. I know I certainly don't. Like, I just accept that there are going to be a fair amount of games that I'm just not going to win. And I think it's really important to try and not overcompensate and try to win every single game. Like, for instance, if you're going to lose hard to a card like Shadow Mirror or something, then I think it's really important to just accept that you're going to lose some of the games instead of trying to put in, like, 6 cards that would out it.
Yeah, I hear you.
And
I actually completely agree, because that's when you get to that tricky situation of over side decking.
Exactly.
For games 2 and 3.
Very rarely do I side more than, like, 2 or 3 cards a matchup. I think, most of the time, in the Burning Abyss mirror, I side a considerable amount. I feel like game 1 is pretty much like your coin flip.
Yeah, absolutely.
It usually translates to who goes first. Like, I don't feel like very many matchups are like that, but specifically in the Burning Abyss matchup, it's whoever puts up a board first, and since both decks can just readily put up a board on their first turn, it's kind of who goes first, since they can do it unopposed. But then when it gets deciding, that matchup is the only one that I want to be able to, like, counteract that with. But, like, every other matchup, I want to side, like, 2 or 3 cards for the most part.
Yeah, I noticed you guys, like, last time I saw you played a full suite of Storm Force, and like 2 or 3 Puppet Plants, and then the Fiends.
Right, we actually didn't side the Puppet Plants against Shaddolls. They were only for Burning Abyss, just so you could take their Dantes and then overlay it for Downward. Another interesting thing that I kind of realized about that is I never intended to side the Storm Force and the Vanities and Majesties against the Mirror. Like, but I noticed
that was
the people
definitely a point of heavy contention. People saying that, like, if you establish this lock, it's very good. I think people kind of underrate the effectiveness of the cards that they already main for your sideboard.
You have to take out so many cards to do that, and
that's what I was going to ask you. Like, obviously, you ever find, like, side decking just such a pain?
Honestly, in Raleigh, I didn't side very many cards for the Mirror at all, just because I expected that the Mirrors I was playing would be like the Mathematician builds and stuff, and I would just have an edge because of that, not necessarily having to side. So I think I only ended up siding like 2 Puppet Plants, and I didn't want to have to take out a bunch of cards to put in all of the Majesties and Vanities.
That's smart stuff. I would hate to open up like double Majesties or Vanities with like no Storm Force.
Yeah, exactly. Like all the normal summon.
Yeah.
I think the worst part is that in the Mirror, they just get so easily Wing Blasted or Karma Cut, and then they just don't have an impact at all.
You basically wasted a turn, you could say.
Yeah.
You don't
definitely.
get any value out of it.
So in case you've been watching, looks like Mitchell Nouse activated El Shaddoll Fusion. He's going to do an El Shaddoll construct here.
The
Then I
only
didn't
way that I
catch-
could imagine
Oh,
Kevin
yeah.
actually winning this game would be Mitchell runs through all of his fusions, and then he would necessarily like still have cards in hand and like technically have cards, but if he's out of fusions, he can't really apply that to pressure. He can't really translate it. I feel like Kevin's only win condition is to literally just run him out of fusions. As
Yeah.
weird as that sounds.
Force him, man.
And it's certainly sometimes it's a viable strategy. The Burning Abyss deck has a ton of resiliency built in with Sir and Dante Loops.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like that's the thing is like if you don't apply pressure, you can't kill it because
Yeah.
it's like you just can consistently do that.
Yeah, BA can stall, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I stall.
Not trying to die out here.
Like rent. You know what I mean? I went to the 5th of the next month of the schedule. I'm like, I don't get put out. All right, that's just real talk. Sometimes you just gotta do it, man.
On a completely unrelated note, if anybody has a couch that Phil Visu can crash on,
Yes. No, this is very true. If you're a fan, if you trust me, I know
Please.
it's hard. If you trust me, I will crash. I'll bring my own pillow. Don't
I
even
need
worry
a
about it.
place.
I have a pillow.
I got my own pillow. Don't even worry about it.
Oh
I don't
man,
need a blanket though.
That's true. Right?
I don't know. That might be a deal breaker. Yeah, Gordan is gonna overlay for a downed magician. Dante and Sir are underneath of it. Nouse though, with just a handful of action.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of options in that man's hand right now. And
Is that warning?
That's not a bad card to have.
I'd certainly rather have it here than not have it here. Game's kind of just over if that resolve for free.
Oh wow.
And it does
Okay.
resolve for free. The game's over, guys.
Looking like game 2's coming up. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to jinx it, but I knew he had a second one.
Just gotta give it the old-fashioned try though.
Wanted a little suspense.
It's like the Velociraptor incident from Jurassic Park all over again. Clever girl. And then a Shaddoll fusion happened.
My God, that comparison. Mad respect, though.
I think we have had some good comparisons so far around one.
That's
Jurassic Park, Fiendish Chain, and sleeping on the couch.
Hey, that's real, okay? Real life and Yu-Gi-Oh, they have to blend, all right?
Alright.
You think Yu-Gi Moto didn't have to pay rent? Where
Yeah.
you think he was getting all the money from? You think he did? You think
He's
in all
sleeping on his
fairness,
grandpa's
he-
couch.
Yeah, in all
Kinda
fairness,
really
his
whipped that
grandpa.
blue eyes. Nah, he sold that at pawn, all right? I know the dude he sold it to, too, man. On the block.
Are you trying to say that you... What?
Yeah, it's real.
It's hard.
Times are tough, I guess.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
All
Abridged,
right.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Baltimore edition, all right? I lived that, all right? I lived that.
I was there.
Kai walking around with a suitcase full of blue eyes. You know he would have gotten stomped out in Baltimore for
He's
those.
dealing, man. It's all good. Alright,
So
Bleeding-
dropping Black Dragon.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, BLS. That's
that's
better than Black
BLS.
Dragon.
that's pretty cute.
But Gordan does have Sir Dante. So we'll likely be seeing the Dante again in defense mode. Probably an add back of something like Sir again. Just keep the loop going. Like maybe you can run your opponent out of Shaddolls with a timely Fire Lake or something along those lines.
Something.
Oh, he's gotta get something popping off, because
Because
is not
that's
nice.
BLS,
yeah, this board's
and
not nice.
you don't have that many life points. He's giving me like a second Regeki. That would be a good starting point.
I agree. Now, if he does have a second Raigeki, I would have to be in favor of a deck check.
You know.
Just in case.
yeah.
No, this, oh, he's scooping it up.
Looking
All
at
right,
it.
yeah,
No.
Kevin Gordan's seen enough.
All right, so now good stuff. Takes game 1.
Yeah.
Decently hard fought battle there, but he didn't actually lose a life point. In fact, he gained
I
them.
mean,
So
I don't know if I'd say hard fought as much as drawn out. It was kind of Mitchell.
didn't give up,
It was
man.
Mitchell's to lose from turn 1 after that Shaddoll fusion.
It was,
Champ.
but at the same time, Kevin just kind of gave it to him when he didn't play the Fire Lake. He let him resolve the fusion for free, and then
Yeah,
decided to save the
backbreaking.
Fire Lake for the free cards that he got off the fusion instead, and you just can't do that.
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes you do have to make those plays that look bizarre.
I think there are like a fair amount of things that Kevin could have done differently. Definitely play the lake, but also just like setting Night Beam. That kind of hurt him a little bit, because when he ends up playing the Rigeki and then he's like able to just keep going because he has core and El Shaddoll fusions that.
It's a very strong card in the dark, because even against the Shaddoll decks, being able to hit a Sinister Shadow games to make sure that they can get their grave loaded up, being able to hit their El Shaddoll fusions that would have stopped you mid-tour guide chains, it's huge, and I can't possibly imagine why you would want to set such a powerful card as a bluff in that scenario.
Yeah, like, you're not really accomplishing much as a bluff. Like, you're floating a Dante and a Seer. You have a lot of pressure on them. It's not like Mitchell has a choice but to go for it.
Yeah.
It's not like he's gonna have Shaddoll fusion and not play it because you set 2. So like the bluff, it just doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
But then he's risking losing into a card like Dragon, where otherwise he would have just hit the lake and then chained it.
Alright, so both players are side decking. Now you have obviously a ton of experience with the Burning Abyss decks. If you're sitting in Kevin Gordan's seat, what are you expecting out of Mitchell Nouse's sideboard?
Out of Mitchell's sideboard?
Yeah.
I would think that he would side. I see a lot of people side Maxi. I don't think Maxi is very good in this particular matchup. Maxi is very good against Burning Abyss in general, but if I were playing Shaddolls, I don't think I would be able to play Maxi, even though I see a considerable number of people do it. But the reason for that is because I feel like you're going to lose pretty hard to the Fiends.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like special Burning Abyss, and he plays Maxi, and he's like, okay, tribute for a Fiend, and then you're just losing to the card you're already losing to.
Yeah, that certainly seems underwhelming.
I would have to expect that he is going to side some kind of outs to the Fiends. I know that if I remember correctly, when we played in top 4, he sided breakthrough skills. I was so concerned about that. I was like, oh no, I've dodged it up until this point, and no, all the Shaddolls I've played up until now has just been like great, because no one sided outs to a bunch of Fiends, and then he had like 3 in his side deck or something.
Oh,
so
yeah.
maybe he's still siding the 3 breakthrough skills.
Yeah, you have to think after a strong performance, top 4, at Rally, you have to think he would play a list pretty similar to what he played. Familiarity very important in a format like the one we have going on right now.
I know whenever I always factor in, like, whenever I play against someone I know, or someone I know who has topped, like, I definitely factor in, like, what they've done recently into how I play. Like,
yeah. And now on the flip side, if you're Kevin Gordan, what do you think your go-to card out of your sideboard is, being a Burning Abyss player?
If he's signed the Fiend, though, definitely bring those in.
Absolutely.
I eventually ended up stop siding Vanity's Fiend. I think Majesty's Fiend is considerably better, to be honest.
Yeah, Majesty's Fiend is that it's just outright can win you the game.
Yeah.
You don't need to Vanity's. If you already play Vanity's Emptiness, you don't need Vanity's Fiend. You feel me?
One of the things about Vanities is, like, while you're trying to win the game and they're just trying to stall out, you're not really gaining much advantage with Vanity's Fiend on the field. But with Majesty's, like, sure, they can out it a lot easier because they could just play Fusion, but to play Fusion, to out it, they have to play the Fusion, discard 2 cards, and then summon a Construct and not get the Construct's effect. Like, that's huge. Like, sure, kill my Majesty's Fiend. It was 1 card that you used 3 to kill.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're in a much stronger position. Oh, one thing that's important is, so Kevin lost game 1. I would make Mitchell go first, 100%. Like, you're not really getting much out of going first when you're playing Burning Abyss, playing against Shaddolls.
Yeah.
If he did side into that Fiend thing anyway, wouldn't he ideally want his opponent to go first so he can have something to sack off?
Yeah, definitely. He also doesn't want to really make Dante's first turn. Like,
No, not again.
do I want to make Dante's and then, like, I just lose the third of the time that they have Shaddoll fusion? Like, that, it's not really a reliable strategy. I think it's much more consistent to make the Shaddoll player go first, which he didn't do, it looks like.
But he has 2 cards I noticed, Karma Cut and Non-Fusion Area are in his hand.
Okay, that's good. What are the I kind of question him setting 4. Like, I don't know what the other 2 are, but when you set 4, you can't special Burning Abyss.
Yeah.
So that's really relevant.
I think it was one of those hands where it's just like, I mean, I don't want to get OTK'd maybe, because Shaddolls, they have that potential to OTK. You know, you never count that possibility out.
I think a big part of this,
maybe set 2 instead of 4. I don't know.
I think after seeing game 1 where he set the Night Beam as a bluff alongside the Fire Lake, I think he places a very high priority on not getting his power cards spaced or Night Beamed or Shaddol Dragon. So I think that has, I think that's part of why.
I don't really like the continuous use of the fusion spell because, again, like Pat said, it hurts your ability to special summon.
Yeah.
Burning Abyss. So I understand, like, you can get some.
Alright, so I think he summons Raiden that he got off the charge.
Yeah,
yes, that was Raiden.
Okay. I always liked Raiden when I was playing Shaddolls because it just lets you make level 8 synchros, which are just incredibly powerful.
Then he's just gonna snap warning.
Yeah.
Raiden.
I don't blame him. That Raiden's just very strong. Like,
Certainly one of those cards that can spiral out of control.
It's one of those cards where, like, he started with 5 cards, and Mitchell starts with 6, and then he summons Raiden. If the Raiden resolves, and if it hits anything in the 4 cards, like, the game's just over. He's way too far ahead in the game.
Now it's gonna go ahead and summon the Light Dragon.
Light Dragon? Okay.
And swing in.
This is great for Nouse because he has a chance to just whittle down these back rows.
Is he gonna Karma Cut this?
Yep.
Wow.
That's the thing, is monsters trump back row. Like,
all the time.
They really do. Like, monsters outright beat back row. Unless it's like a floodgate like Vanities or like Shadow Imprisoning or something. But like for the most part, when you're playing against cards like Karma Cut, a bunch of monsters are just gonna trump that every time.
Yeah. That makes sense. On Gordan's side, this is a very aggressive use of Karma Cut. I tend to like saving the cards like that as an out to keep them as an out for Winda or constructs that you have a lot of problem really clearing with this deck. So to see him use it on a Light Dragon is kind of worrisome.
Alright, so you debated for a little while about chaining to it. Does that mean he has El Shaddoll fusion?
Yeah, he does have El
might be
Shaddoll.
trying to
He does have El
Kevin
Shaddoll
out,
fusion
though.
in his hand.
Yeah.
I do that all the time. I ain't got nothing in my hand. Like, I'm gonna sit here for 2 minutes.
Right. I'm gonna think about it, and then I'm gonna not do anything
Well, Phil,
while I think about what movie I'm gonna go see
so
later.
you always have 5 back rows.
hey, this ain't about me, okay? This is about these 2 fine gentlemen we got playing right here.
Yeah, if he does have El Shaddoll fusion, I would have to imagine that he should have chained it. Like, the construct, just playing around back row, searching a free dragon like that. He'd be pretty far ahead in the game if he had fusion and then
Certainly.
he played it. So I would have to imagine he doesn't have it, or it's definitely just a mistake.
I think he does.
Second riding? Yeah.
I think he does have it, but he doesn't. It looked like his hand was very green heavy.
Okay.
Rest in peace, Danko.
Dinkosek is another reason to go to make them go first. I don't want to start with some back row and then they're like, Dinkosek, I'm going to kill you. That was funny. You mentioned how Shaddolls could always OTK. When I played against Mitchell, we were like looking at each other's deck list. His deck list name was literally OTK Shaddolls.
Oh yeah, I remember they put that up on the screen. I was like, all right. Well.
Yeah, he wrote it on there. Like,
No illusions.
he was not playing around.
He had a chance to make that deck list name true too. We're not gonna go into it though. I'm gonna let him breathe a little bit.
Sometimes
I get lucky. What can I say?
In all fairness, it did make a great YouTube video.
It did. Woo woo.
The YouTube
It's a great match for me too.
Oh, we changed the Elshie.
Okay, so that's good.
All right, so this is non-fusion area was pretty kind of popular, I would say, in the Burning Abyss decks before the new set came out. It's kind of fallen out of favor. This is part of the reason why. Nouse activates Shaddoll fusion. Gordan chains non-fusion area.
Right.
Now simply chains El Shaddoll fusion and continues about his business.
Thinking about responding, but like, I can't really imagine a card that he would have and be able to respond.
Yeah, what else? I mean, guess nothing.
If he had Vanity, he would snap activate it. If he had another non-fusion, he would snap activate that. So, like, he might have discard cards with nothing in hand, but, like... Alright. Is that Winda?
No, it's Construct.
It's Construct? Okay.
He sent Raiden and Hedgehog, so he has a Hedgehog and a Construct activation that are currently resolving.
He didn't hit anything off the Raiden, so he has all his Shaddoll effects this turn? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so, right?
Oh,
well, he did. No,
he still has all of his Shaddoll effects left.
Okay. So he sent Dragon.
That's pretty good.
If I were Mitchell and I were gonna send Dragon, I would definitely just go ahead and pop the non-fusion area. Like you know that the other sets aren't another non-fusion or aren't vanities. And
in this situation, I would just believe they're not even that threatening. You know what I mean? Because you can really assume that at least one of them is a discard outlet with no cards in hand. That's just going to be chilling there.
He's got a Scarm, but to make it live, I guess. But he chose not to attack. That's interesting.
I do think that's a pretty good play by Nouse.
Yeah.
Nouse being able to draw anything relevant, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess he's not really trying to grind the game out necessarily. He's more trying to just kill him, actually. What card is that?
I think it was a Falco.
Oh, okay. He's gonna try and go for Leo here. Yeah. So, all right. So for Kevin, I feel like he's definitely thinking about just playing whatever discard card he has set that he couldn't play last turn. It's gonna be awkward if the card in hand isn't a Burning Abyss. Kevin's kind of going to be out of this game.
Awkward. That's going to straight up suck, man.
That's all right. We're going to say it like it is. Yeah, Kevin is going to be out of this match if that is not a Burning Abyss in hand and he activates it.
And now Leo is hit the board.
All right, so it's not a Burning Abyss in hand because he probably would have activated it, and he knows he can't.
Yeah, it's usually game over when you see Mufasa hit board, right?
That's why I call Leo sucks, right? But I don't want to ever see Leo.
Only out Mufasa Scar, right? And Burning Abyss ain't got it, right?
I don't want to play against Leo. Leo's no fun.
Jurassic Park to the Lion King. Only here, folks.
Right
Ooh, we have fusion for presumably Winda to follow it up.
Still anyone's game.
I feel like that's strange that he had Black Dragon in here. Is that right? Oh no. He karma cut it. Okay. All right. I was looking at banished White Dragon. Okay. I was gonna say I thought it was strange that he didn't summon the Black Dragon first, but I guess he doesn't have a dragon to summon first. Okay. That's actually even more strange, and I would have to say just kind of a mistake on Kevin's part.
What is going on in this game?
He had the Vanity set when he played non-fusionary, and then Mitchell chained the El Shaddoll, but then he chose not to play the Vanities.
Alright.
I can't help but feel like that was just wrong.
That was clearly a misplay.
Yeah,
we agree to that.
definitely.
Maybe crack a little bit under pressure.
And you can,
but it's round one, man. Get it together.
You can almost hear Mitchell now saying, now the shoe's on the other foot. Now who's messing up on camera?
Right? This said, I'm going to take my freedoms too.
This is Nouse's redemption. Alright? It's not
Alright, so he just passed without attacking the Scarm. I guess he wants to keep him locked under the Scarm. But I think even more than that is he kind of knows that the other card is probably a discard outlet. And if he attacks, then Leo's kind of susceptible to it. Or if he just doesn't, Leo's not. If he took out Rank Up, it's kind of interesting. If Kevin has less cards in deck than Mitchell does right now, Mitchell could actually just deck him out by passing.
I saw somebody do that at my local.
There's 0 outs.
They literally they kept passing, so there was no main phase 2.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just go straight to the end phase, and they had nothing they could actually do.
The only kind of out is to make Acid Golem Giga Brilliant. And that's a really bad out. Like, you don't ever want to have to do that.
You don't want to that
made a little bit better by the by Alec in the deck list to be able to negate the Acid Golem, but still something you never wanted.
That's one of the cool interactions, being able to negate Acid Golem, and then next turn you get to attack or something too, and then you can overlay for downer and make phase 2. It still sucks. I can't imagine him winning the game if he has to do that though. Like, what did he do to get the Scarm Search?
He set a creature so the Scarm died.
Which also cleared the emptiness. Okay, I guess that means that, like,
And he
Did you
did
catch
search
what he
tour guide.
searched?
He did search tour guide.
Tour guide? Okay, so I would have to assume that he probably has Graphic Seer in hand, and he's hoping that he attacks, he gets whatever effect he set, and then main phase 2 he gets to play the Phoenix Wing or Karma Cut on Leo, and then discard the other one of Graphic Seer that he already had, I would think. By the same token, Tour Guide does put a little bit of pressure on Mitchell because Kevin can start advancing his game significantly if he just continues to pass here. Well, it's not a great out. He could start setting up the tour. As a cone kicker.
You can certainly do better, but
what card is that?
it's hard to tell. I'm sorry, folks.
We're
gonna
Skarm.
try to. Yeah, Leo ran over a Skarm. We're gonna try to get this glare fixed up a little bit. Nouse is gonna go for the battle phase El Shaddoll fusion, sending Hedgehog and Squamata.
Alright, so I would assume that was Squamata that he summoned.
So now we see Leo Winda.
So he probably took 1800 from the Squamata. And then he's gonna go ahead and make Winda. It's gonna make the Aztecon Giga Brilliant even more difficult to deal with. It's not that relevant at this point. At this point, he can Phoenix Wing the Leo. But he's probably thinking about if he has to do it on Winda here. So if you're
I mean,
Mitchell,
you can't help but think like they did just go into time, by the way. So I mean, you have to think if you're Gordan,
did they go into time? Don't they have a time extension on future matches? Or did they start on
small time extension? They didn't just go into time. They're probably gonna any second now.
I just can't help but feel that if you're Gordan, you probably can't clear Winda. Like you have a ton of trouble dealing with Leo, but you probably just can't deal with Winda.
Yeah, at this point, Kevin Gordon's only playing for a tie as well. He's not playing to try and win the match.
Right.
Since he lost the first game and they just went to time.
Yeah, if I'm Nouse, I'd be kind of pissed about that. Like, I want the W, all right?
Yeah, I know.
And he just passes back. Gordon's going to get another Skarm search. Now you have to wonder if that back row is by chance a bluff, or if it's something like Fire Lake.
If it's Fire Lake, he definitely should not have said it first turn.
Yeah, you have to wonder if this is going to come back and bite him.
That card is literally just sitting there dead since the beginning of the game too. Like, I would just not even take it seriously right now.
Has Mitchell said any cards in this game? Could be an MST.
I don't think he has.
Yeah, it might be MST.
El Shaddoll from his hand.
Right. And then, he played Core. What did he add off Core? Did he add just the regular fusion? Because there's an El Shaddoll on the top of his grade.
I thought he got fusion back.
Yeah.
If he did get El Shaddoll, he might have milled one off rated in their charge or whatever. But so he could have had a second one.
Grab Graph, so we know he has Tour Guide and Graph in hand.
He might have a read that it's MST. If Mitchell might, and he might just choose not to set cards even if he has them.
That's a good strategy, because then you keep that card on board.
Like, making it so that Kevin can't special any Burning Abyss is very, very relevant, especially with only a few cards.
All right, Mitchell Nouse is going to go ahead and take this one. 2-zip.
2 up. Yep.
Good read, Pat. Good read, man. I was definitely thinking it was a dead Fire Lake.